Assalamu alaikum. I have a question for you. Do you sometimes find yourself not knowing the basic things about the deen? Sometimes someone might ask you a question and you're kind of stumped for an answer. Don't you wish that you had the answers to some of the basic things that you have to do as a Muslim day to day? If so, then perhaps you may be interested in studying your deen. We have an Islamic studies program, and if you'd like to join it, you can find more information on it by clicking the link below and joining our Telegram group. And if you like it, you can register for the first year. And hopefully we see you on the other side. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. People keep asking me recently, what's your view about the Taliban? Right? See, everyone's head just rose there. This is the exact same problem that happened with ISIS. I'm not saying they're the same, and I'm not saying that they're not the same. That's not my point here. My point is that people are behaving the same way. The ones who are going to teach us about whether the Taliban are good or bad is the scholars. Why? Because Allah said in the Quran, وَإِذَا جَاءَهُمْ أَمْرٌ مِنَ الْأَمْنِ أَوِ الْخَوْفِ أَذَعُوا بِهِ. When matters of safety and security, bloodshed, when these big matters come, people spread it. Social media, Twitter, he gives his opinion. وَلَوْ رَدُّوا إِلَى الرَّسُولِ. Allah said, if only instead of spreading it, they took it back to the messenger. وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْهُمْ. And the scholars who have the authority. وَأُولُو الْأَمْرِ مِنْهُمْ لَعَلِمَهُ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَنْبِطُونَهُ مِنْهُمْ. They would have been able to tell you with the knowledge that they have what's right and what's wrong. So then the matters of safety and security, jihad, safety, security, governance, these big things, we look to the scholars. When the ISIS thing happened, the scholars initially didn't speak. Why? Because if they say they're bad, they've said people are bad or not. But if they say they're good and they're hasty, they're going to send people to their death. They're going to send people to go and join a group that's going to take them to, that's going to make them from the dogs of the hellfire. The Prophet ﷺ said the Khawarij are the dogs of the hellfire. So the scholars didn't talk at the beginning because they were analyzing. Wait, let's see what they believe. What's their movements? What do they believe? Let's look at their books. Let's look at their scholars. What are they saying? What do they quote you? What do they believe? People were hasty. They started to listen to little kids. People who were jahil. Saying, let's go. Khalifa, Allah, put his head. And this has always happened. Always throughout history. Happened at the time of Sahaba. Happened at the time of Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ. Happened at the time of Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ. These are the ones who killed Ali. And they killed Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhuma. Does that make sense? People didn't listen. And when the scholars started to come out and say, wait, no, these guys are dangerous. No, we know what they believe. We've seen it. We've seen the things they're saying. We've seen what they're doing. They kill Muslims. No, they're Khawarij, trust me. And they started to bring evidence. People were like, scholars for dollars. What these jokers don't realize, these same scholars, some of them fought in Afghanistan against the Russians. What they don't understand is the scholars like Ibn Baz, Ibn Uthaymeen were sending their students to go and fight in Chechnya. And they were encouraging people. You tell me scholars for... These are not scholars for dollars, brothers. Do you guys know that Shaykh al-Albani went and fought? He went and fought against the Zionists? The point I was making was that, for example, even when you look at Mashayikh like Shaykh al-Albani, he went and actually fought against the Zionists in Palestine to try and help our brothers and sisters. And this was in 1949, 1950, something like that. Shaykh Mashur Hassan, who was one of his students who's alive today, he tells the story. Recently, when just this whole thing happened, he was telling the story online. My point is that these scholars are not scared. The ulama are not scared. The thing is, they're very tactical when they advise. They don't want to send a person to their destruction. Does that make sense? You see, when you're young, people are hot-blooded. We see someone, army, fighting, look, we just want to... It's so much deeper than that. Does that make sense? It's so much deeper. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said, if it comes to situations of safety and security, what do? You take it to Allah, Allah's Messenger and the scholars. My point is that when it comes to these things, we run into fitna. They wait for the ulama. They'll guide. They'll tell you what's right. They'll tell you what's right. They'll tell you what's wrong. Because we don't know. We have to learn lessons. Look what happened with ISIS. How people got misguided and they got destroyed now. Al-Qaeda, the same thing happened. The thing is, people don't learn the lessons. They don't learn. History repeats. So you have to be patient. You have to look at scholars, what the ulama they say. When we say scholars, we don't mean scholars in Saudi Arabia. Scholars all over the world. Scholars are in Somalia. Scholars are in Pakistan. Scholars in Afghanistan. Scholars are in Morocco. There's scholars in what? Algeria. Scholars in Egypt. Scholars all around the world. But they're people of the Sunnah. They're the ones that we want to listen to. They are the ones that we want to listen to. So that's why it's obligatory to learn this, because without learning this, people will give down, they'll do wrong things. And people's lives will be lost because of that. Their lives will be lost because of that. Another thing that shows, which is a very, very negative thing that people have done in da'wah, they've made the whole da'wah seem about khilafah. They have made the whole da'wah seem about politics. Some people, they only come out when it's politics. When it's an election is the only time they give lectures. When it's an election is the only time they give lectures. Or the only thing they do is they quote the khilafah. My question is, were there some prophets that didn't even govern their people? Were there some prophets that never even were in charge of their people? There were many prophets like that. So does that mean that their da'wah was false? Were they calling to khilafah? Were they calling to leadership? Were they calling to governance? There were many prophets who had no leadership amongst their people. So are those prophets null and void? Are those prophets nothing now? Even the Prophet ﷺ was given the opportunity to govern over the mushrikun. He said no. Yeah, some prophets didn't. The Prophet ﷺ was offered to rule. They said, look, we'll make you our ruler. We'll make you our ruler, but just stop this da'wah. We'll even worship Allah, but just, every now and again we're going to worship our gods. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, because the primary objective is tawheed, eradicating shirk, and tawheed, calling to it. That's the primary objective. These people now, you say to them, Akhi, look, if you say to them, look, you can become our leader, but we're still going to worship Jesus. They'll say, of course, it's an opportunity for us. And every time they got into power, they never did anything. Does that make sense? So my point, my brothers and sisters, is don't be confused. The deen is about tawheed. It's about what? The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, Quran, sunnah, understanding and the interpretation of the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in. And the reason why it's obligatory to know this is because people are going to give da'wah, and when they give da'wah, they're going to do it wrong. They're going to call to wrong falsehood. Does that make sense? And that's why it's necessary and obligatory for us to learn this path. Shaykh Bakr Abu Zayd rahimahullah ta'ala, he has a statement where he said, these people, they give their da'wah, calling people to what? Now people don't realize, in France, the niqab ban. Do you know why France issued the niqab ban? Why? Second, sorry? Yeah. Right, but do you know what gave them the audacity to actually legitimize and ban it? It was a fatwa from a scholar from the Ash'ari group. Very famous. Does that make sense? He gave a fatwa, and they look at him as an authority in the Muslim world, and they based his fatwa saying that niqab is not even part of Islam. So we think, I'm saying France, what it is, batil, is wrong, is thing. But actually, they based it on a man of misguidance. And this man is also one of the same men who told people to go and revolt and rebel against their leaders, which is why we have the problem in Syria right now. And our Muslim brothers and sisters are dying, being killed. Does that make sense? And the scholars are warning against people like this. They're warning against these groups. They're warning against these people of innovation, Ikhwan al-Muslimin and whatnot. The guy's name was Yusuf al-Qardawi. You may have heard his name. Okay? But the point is, the people don't listen to the scholars. They don't listen to the people of the Sunnah. They don't listen to the people of the Sunnah when they advise these things. The deen is not about emotions, not about being hot-blooded, it's about knowledge. It's about knowledge, about ilm. And with the ilm, a person will learn, navigate what's right and what's wrong. Does that make sense? And the way that you are connected to the path of the Salaf, the Sahaba, is through the scholars, the ulama. Does that make sense, my brothers? Yeah? Look what Shaykh Bakr Abu Zayd said. He said, these people in their da'wah, all it resulted to was our youngsters ending up in jail or inside the loneliness of their graves. After sacrificing their lives and bringing the cities to ruin, وَلَيْسَ مِنَ الْأَثْرِ إِلَّا الْخَطِّ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. They had no effect, except the effect was like a person who steps in a puddle of water. When you step inside of water and you move, what happens to the water? It goes back. All those youngsters who went and they're dead now. All those youngsters who went and they're dead now. All those cities that have come down in ruin, all of that sacrifice, all that life that you spend wasting it upon falsehood, at the end of it, the effect that you had was like the effect of a man who took a step in water. After you lift your leg, the water goes back. But then look at people like Ibn Taymiyyah. Look at people like what? The ones that we mentioned. Look at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The likes.